Why can't we be the HR for these SMEs, these startups? And that's the idea of HumLog. The leader thinks he is Superman and he can do everything, but it is important to get the right people on board.
So, George, what is HumLog?
HumLog is an acronym that stands for the 6 services that we offer: the HR consulting, unique HR tech solutions, manpower outsourcing, learning and development, outsourced HR solution, and G stands for global talent acquisition.
What is the future that you see?
Move most of the boring, mundane stuff about HR into technology-based, AI-based, and that is what we are moving towards. HR is strategy, HR is the right people, HR is culture. HumLog means we people. And what is an HR business than about people?
Welcome to SPC Spotlight by SPC Free Zone, Sharjah's premier free zone, helping businesses succeed in the UAE. At SPC Free Zone, we have a strong focus on fostering entrepreneurship, and hence we are here to provide a platform for businesses to flourish with comprehensive support services tailored to the unique needs of startups and established enterprises. And today, we are diving into the critical realm of human resources with a leader who has carved out unique solutions for common yet complex HR challenges faced by SMEs and startups. Joining us is George Mathew, founder and CEO of HumLog, who brings a wealth of experience and a revolutionary approach to HR management, and who's a partner of SPC Free Zone. George, welcome to SPC Spotlight.
It's a pleasure to be here. Little unnerving to be in the spotlight, but let's see what we can do.
George, can you shed some light on the core HR challenges that an SME or a brand normally faces, especially in dynamic regions like Sharjah?
One of the biggest challenges that most SMEs face, Melvin, is that they don't understand the importance of people and what people play in the organization. So it's usually the leader who's taking most of the effort, most of the blame. Everything is up to the leader, and the leader thinks he is Superman and he can do everything. But it is important to get the right people on board. And when you get the right people on board, it's important to delegate. The other challenge that I see is the company culture. SMEs don't think initially about what should the culture of the company be. It evolves as the company, and that's toxic because every new leader who comes in brings their own culture, and it keeps evolving. Instead, if the culture is set right in the beginning, it is a much different. So these are the two biggest challenges: the people and the culture that I see from an HR perspective.
Could you share some examples of notable startups that have actually encountered these challenges?
Let's talk about WeWork. Mr. Newman is such an eccentric leader that he built the company to a certain level. At one time, I think it was 47 billion valuation. And from there, it just went down because what happens is when the leader thinks he is larger than the company and the company does not get the same importance as the leader takes, it really grounds the company down. Closer to home, I think Byju's is a classic example. A toxic culture, a sell at any rate culture. It's a classic example of about how culture. So I've given both examples: the leader and the culture. What can ruin a company?
Tell us what led you to start HumLog, or in simple terms, what was that aha moment?
I've been here 18 years now. I landed here in 2007. I always say I saw metroless and Burjless Dubai. From there, the growth has been phenomenal. I think today, 85% of Dubai, or the economy, is run by SMEs and startups. However, what I noticed speaking to a lot of these SMEs, especially in my days in Rackbank, my days in Coke, I realized most of them don't have a HR in-house. It's usually the leader who's managing/damaging HR, or they feel an accountant can do all the jobs that an HR does. And HR is not just about payroll, let's be honest. So when I realized that there is a gap and there is nobody focusing on this gap, there are big HR consultancies who focus on the corporates. But who takes care of these SMEs? So that's when the seed of HumLog grew, that why not a company? So accounting outsourcing is very common in this market. Most small companies outsource their accounting. But I wanted to start with HR outsourcing. Why can't we be the HR for these SMEs, these startups? And that's the idea of HumLog.
You've just signed a partnership with SPC Free Zone. Let's understand from a customer who gets a license from SPC Free Zone, what are the benefits that they get with this partnership that SPC Free Zone has done with HumLog? How does it help a customer who's got a license or probably is just associated with SPC Free Zone?
It is important to set the culture of the company right from the beginning. So the right time to start off with a good HR consultancy at least is when the company is just starting off. And that's where I think SPC has done the right thing of getting an HR consultancy on board to help these new companies when they're starting off at the right foot. And I think you guys have literally squeezed me into giving a free consultancy also to any new startup. So that I think is a huge advantage. So even before they start off with hiring people, with doing all that, they can start off with understanding where they stand. Can they have the right culture? What kind of people should they hire? So they can learn all this right from the beginning. And obviously, we help with recruitment, we help with everything to do with HR. So a company is not left, or a leader or a startup owner is not left with doing everything himself. We are here to partner.
So, George, what is HumLog?
For the Hindi and Urdu speakers, it's very easy to associate with HumLog. HumLog means we people. And what is an HR business than about people? Baby boomers, they remember old Doordarshan serial called HumLog. That's not HumLog, let's be honest. So HumLog is an acronym that stands for the 6 services that we offer. So it starts with HR consulting, which is going in, fixing a problem, coming out. Then there is unique HR tech solutions, which is what I mentioned in one of my previous answers, that we want to move most of the boring, mundane stuff about HR into technology based, AI based, and that is what we are moving towards. M stands for manpower outsourcing, wherein we give people when people can't hire people on their own. L stands for learning and development, which is an important aspect of HR, I feel. O stands for outsourced HR solutions, which is the OG idea of HumLog. And G stands for global talent acquisition. We find you people from anywhere in the world. So that's HumLog for you.
Reflecting on your journey, what have been some of the major milestones for HumLog?
Even though I started an HR consultancy and I've been into HR for 20 years, I did not have the right team in the beginning. I was trying to do everything myself. Again, when I said a leader tries to do everything himself and fails, I've learned from my own example. Because obviously, cost is of concern. Will I get the right people is a question. So I think getting the team in place was one of the biggest milestones. So I have a leader for each function now, and I can sit here without worrying about what the company is doing because the leaders are taking care of it. So getting the right team was a big milestone. Signing up with some of the best partners in the world, SPC being a classic example, is another milestone. We are even signed up with Sharjah SME or Ruwad. I mean, I think Sharjah does something amazing, which is support Emiratis with setting up companies. And that is where I want to be a part of. So SPC, Sharjah SME, all these are partnerships that are really milestones in HumLog's journey.
Nice. And what is the future for HumLog, especially in the dynamic landscape of the category like HR? What is the future that you see of HR overall?
Your question was very well placed, HR overall, because obviously HumLog has to follow where HR is going. I mean, till now, HR has been just an administrative function. Attendance, leave management, payroll, this is what HR is known for. I always joke, people think HR is 3 things: hiring, firing, and conspiring. So, unfortunately, that's not HR. HR is much beyond that. HR is strategy, HR is the right people, HR is culture. And that is what HumLog wants to focus on. So, what we are doing is we are automating the mundane, boring part of HR so that we can focus on the people, which is the most important aspect.
George, thank you so much for sharing your journey, inspiring a lot of listeners out here. And thank you for sharing this entire experience with SPC Free Zone.
It's a pleasure, Melvin. Thank you for your amazing questions. And I look forward to this partnership.
To our viewers, if you're inspired to bring your entrepreneurial dreams to life in a community that supports and accelerates growth, look no further than SPC Free Zone, where business meets opportunity. Subscribe to our podcast for more stories and insights that help you navigate the path of entrepreneurship. Remember, at SPC Free Zone, your business journey is our priority. Join us and shape your tomorrow today.